1st and 2nd Thessalonians on the second coming. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 13 to chapter 5 verse 11. Paul, in writing to the Thessalonians, faced a situation not too unlike our modern one, in that the people of the church were divided into two camps, those who doubted the resurrection and those given to extravagant beliefs concerning it. Paul writes so that they might avoid the pagan sorrow, even as others which have no hope. Chapter 4 verse 13. To believe that Jesus died and rose again, chapter 4 verse 14, means also to believe in our own resurrection from the dead. Christ is the representative man, and all who are members of his new humanity share in his life and its resurrection. Therefore, those who die before his return will not live a lesser life, as some of the Thessalonians believed. For the pagans, there was a pallid and undesirable immortality of the soul, conceived of as a thin material substance, and the life of the soul was hardly an attractive one, but was meaningless and sorrowful. The shades of the departed is a significant expression pointing to the pagan regard for the afterlife. It is a grey and shadowy existence. Paul assures the Thessalonians that no such meaningless life is in store for the dead. Their present life is in Christ, as souls, is a glorious one, and at the second coming they shall arise in their resurrection bodies, and together with those who are alive, be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Chapter 4, verse 17. In verse 16, Hendrickson translates, with a shouted command, that is, as of a conqueror. In chapter 5, verse 2, Paul warns the believers to be prepared at all times. Men will have no warning of his coming. They will rejoice, saying, peace and safety, chapter 5, verse 3, when sudden destruction shall overwhelm them. Even as a thief comes unexpectedly, so shall the Lord come unexpectedly and find unbelievers unprepared. In the face of this, he issues a warning to Christians. He urges them to avoid sleep and to be watchful. Chapter 5, verses 6 to 8. According to Hendrickson, to sleep, compare Mark chapter 13, verse 36, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14, means to live as if there will never be a judgment day. Spiritual and moral laxity is indicated. Luke chapter 12, verse 45 pictures this condition vividly. To be watchful means to live a sanctified life in the consciousness of the coming judgment day. Spiritual and moral alertness is indicated. To be sober means to be filled with spiritual and moral earnestness, but neither overly excited on one hand nor indifferent on the other, but calm, steady and sane. Compare 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17, doing one's duty and fulfilling one's ministry. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5. The sober person lives deeply. In chapter 5, verse 3, Paul declares that the day is entirely in the Lord's hands, both with regard to the coming and the knowledge thereof. There is no escaping or preventing it. Even as a woman with child cannot, at the time of travail, prevent its coming, so men are helpless to prevent the coming of the great day of the Lord. Both this passage and Romans chapter 13, verses 11 to 14 give us another important image, as Voss points out. History, Paul declares, is at present in a great world night. But with the coming of Christ, it could be said that the night is far spent, and the day is now at hand. The great world night is being scattered by the Lord through his gospel, and the day will dawn at his coming. Believers are thus called to put on the armour of light and prepare. For the unbelievers, however, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Amos chapter 5, verse 18. Moreover, the birth pains described in chapter 5, verse 3 belong to the whole of creation, groaning and labouring to be delivered into the glorious liberty of the sons of God. Romans chapter 8, verses 19 to 23. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, Paul again returns to the subject. In his previous letter, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1, he had referred to his oral teaching on the times, stretches of time, and seasons, time marked by clear-cut trends and events pertaining to the Lord's coming. He writes now to correct certain misperceptions. Wrong views of the second coming are prevalent, some expecting it immediately and even apparently neglecting their work in this belief. Forged words, ostensibly from Paul, were being circulated to add to the confusion. Paul deals with this issue by pointing out that certain things must transpire before the general resurrection occurs. These things are 1. The apostasy, chapter 2, verse 3. 2. The revelation of the man of sin, chapter 2, verses 3 to 6 and verses 8 to 12. 3. The coming of the Lord, chapter 2, verse 8. 4. The power that hinders or restrains evil for the time being is removed, chapter 2, verses 6 and 7. At this point, it is instructive to review some of the cardinal points of Revelation as it views the future. 1. Humanism creates or seeks to create a world without God. 2. This order or dream is called Babylon the Great. 3. There is a total collapse of this hope and its order. 4. The reign of the saints ensues. It is necessary, moreover, to call attention to the fact that there is a common confusion of several terms. Antichrist and that wicked one or lawless one are made one figure, and the terms are made interchangeable, but there is no valid ground for this. First of all, Antichrist is a name used only by St. John in 1 John chapter 2 verses 18 and 22 and chapter 4 verse 3, and in 2 John verse 7. The Greek reading makes clear the definition of Antichrist, who is also described as already here in John's day. He is the Antichrist who denieth the Father and the Son. To read it as an Antichrist is to mistranslate the Greek. There is no ground whatsoever for seeing Antichrist as anything other than St. John declared him to be. Any and every man, in or out of the Church, who denies the Father and the Son. We have an Antichrist with us since St. John's day. Second, the man of sin brings out the real nature of sin, to be as God, to usurp his throne. Adam's sin is made the principle of religion for the man of sin, who, like Judas, is called the son of perdition. Chapter 2, verse 3, that is, marked out like Judas as an apostate and a betrayer. He deifies himself, and he is lying power, signs and wonders. In verse 9, lying modifies power, signs and wonders, not wonders only. The Berkeley version renders mystery of iniquity in chapter 2, verse 7 as the hidden principle of lawlessness. Thus, either a movement or a movement headed by a figure embodies the principle of Satan and his temptation in a direct assault on God's order, in an attempt to substitute for God's order the order of man, the new God. This means, therefore, a total order in church, state, and all things else, in which the principle of anti-law, of anti-God is incarnated. Church and state follow in the wake of this working of Satan. Chapter 2, verse 9. Third, a God-ordained restraint, a power that hinders, will be removed. Lawlessness will then govern, instead of being governed. Obviously, therefore, the principle of law in church, state, home and everywhere else, but especially in civil government, will be taken out of the way, will be removed by the principle of lawlessness. Fourth, Jesus Christ will destroy this lawlessness or the lawless one, whom he shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Chapter 2, verse 8. This is a process of destruction, first by the word, the spirit of his mouth, and second by his coming. A part of the process of destruction involves God's act whereby he sends them strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. Fifth, Paul's purpose in this letter is not to satisfy men's curiosity concerning the things which are to come, but to prepare them for battle against the powers of darkness. Even as God became flesh, and the righteousness of God was made manifest in the person of Jesus Christ, so the anti-law shall be made manifest in the principle of lawlessness. Satan's temptation, instead of being man's shame, will be made man's pride and glory. But victory is assured in Jesus Christ, and the saints are called to battle until victory. Paul wrote to comfort your hearts and establish you in every good word and work. Chapter 2, verse 17.